Hello everybody, I thought I'd take just a couple minutes here and show you my setup, my sump setup for a 125 gallon saltwater fish tank. I've got a number of compliments on it, so I figured I'd throw a video together and show you guys the setup here. So if you have this space and want to set something up similar to this, you can see how it all works and flows together and hopefully keep your fish happy. So this is my the main area for all my filters and everything. The tank is actually on the other side of the wall in the family room, and it is a split level house, so the floor of that room is right about here. So the tank is raised up, which made this setup a lot easier, as everything is below the bottom of the tank. So I kind of have a big tower off to the side here. So I'll just start way up at the top. This tank up here is for the RO water. Right now it's completely full. I was running the RO yesterday, so I could get ready for water changes and whatnot. The RO unit is actually set way down here in its own little cubby. I am in a well system, so I do have a booster pump, and that feeds in all the way up through a bunch of pipes and tubes and whatnot, and comes all the way up to the RO tank. So that's just I think a 25 gallon tank. It takes me about 5 hours to fill it up with my RO system, which is more than enough water for my needs. So from that main RO water tank up top, all the tanks are gravity fed and they just flow downhill. So I got two tanks right below that the RO feeds into. The tank on the left here is for fresh salt water, and I'm actually mixing some salt right now, so I just got a little power head in there to stir things up. And I just do 5 gallon water changes on Mondays and Fridays. So that's 10 gallons total per week on a 125 gallon main tank, which works out pretty good. I like doing the 5 gallons twice a week, and it only takes about 5 minutes to do. So twice a week is fine, because I don't have to pump anything, I don't have to carry any water, I don't have to move it. All I gotta do is flip a valve here and a valve up there, and so 5 minutes twice a week is nothing. On the right hand side here, which is where the other piping comes down to, is my freshwater top-off system. So both of these tanks are 10 gallon tanks, little $10 or $15 tanks you can get at a supply shop. So this tank here is completely sealed. I have it sealed at the top. I cut plexi and sealed that, so it's 100% sealed. If I move this paper towel out of the way. So there's a pipe that comes up to the top of that, a valve that closes it off, and then there's piping that comes off the bottom and goes down into this lower tank over here, which I'll explain in a minute. So this automatic top-off is completely unpowered. It's accurate down to the millimeter, so my water level in the main sump here, which is always right here on the mark, it stays there constantly. A millimeter change in the water level will cause this to bring the level back up to exact spot. So this is a vacuum fed type system. So the water drains out the bottom, and that creates a vacuum up at the top where the air is, and the only way air can get in is through this pipe, which is currently sealed at the water level right now. So as of right now, this is completely sealed, no water can drain out, and that stops the water flow. As soon as the water drops just a little bit, it breaks the seal on that pipe, letting air in. Air comes up, allows the pressure to equalize in here, and then water starts flowing out the bottom and into my sump, and if that's all connected there. So, and that brings it back up and automatically stops it. So this 10-gallon tank in my house, with the humidity and everything, levels and everything, I can get a good solid week on that 10-gallon tank pretty easy, if not a week and a half. So all I gotta do to refill it is close a valve on this bottom line here, which is right over here. Open that one, fills it back up, and it's done. So another 5-minute job, and usually I fill that when I'm doing my water change. So 10 minutes a week is hardly nothing for just general daily maintenance on that. Alright, so I'll just keep moving down here. The next tank in this tower here, this fresh saltwater tank mix flows down through this valve into this tank, and this is kind of my refugium slash water exchanging tank. So I got a few things in here, not much, mostly just a bunch of amphipods and other little critters. The only glass I clean is this front one. Otherwise I leave it to just grow out whatever wants to grow in there, and that keeps algae and everything from growing in the main tank. There's a bunch of coralline algae growing. I got a couple power heads stirring up water, and just a surface tension breaker little thing stirring up water too, to keep the water stirred up and clean. And there's a couple of little things in here. Chunk of horn coral that I'm growing out, and I can resell that one. So, and I got one little crab. He's kind of walking around in there, right over there. So when I'm ready to do a water change, all I do is turn on this main pump at the back that pumps out all the water. Dropping this next to nothing, about just over this black lip here on the tank. Doesn't get all the way out, but that's fine. And then I just open it up and drop all this water into it. So I don't have to move anything or carry anything. It flows right down, and water changes are nice and easy. When I am doing the water changes, though, I need to separate this tank from the main tank. Otherwise, I'll just keep pumping all water out until there's nothing left. So I got just 2 valves on here, and those are for circulating between the 2 tanks. I do have another in the back corner there. There is a pump in there that circulates water between this tank, pumps it up around the back and over here, and swirls around in there and flows down. So these 2 valves are just allowing water to get back in that direction towards the exchange tank. So it circulates around just fine, and salt levels and everything and are always equalized between the tanks. So that's the main tower. Everything gravity fed there. All the switches and everything are down here by the RO system. So I got a floor place switch and turn everything on and off however I need to do that. So, alright, so I'll just move over here to the main sump here quick. This is a 50 gallon just fish tank store display tank that I got from the local pet store. So water comes down the drain pipes through here, a couple of unions so I can take it apart if I need to, and then comes down into here. So I do have a couple pieces of plexiglass to separate that I put in there, and then one comes down and it kind of helps keep the bubbles from coming out. So that bubble trap there, and they kind of swirl around inside there, and water comes out the bottom. I got the protein skimmer right at the face of this to start the filter system. That does a pretty good job at sucking up any little micro bubbles that come through from the water swirling around, as well as that rock kind of helps guide water to where I want it. So protein skimmer does a pretty good job. I have that kind of modified where I just have the water coming back down, and it drains into just a U-bend down there with some holes drilled into it, again to break the surface tension, and it's a lot better than the stock protein skimmers outlet where it just kind of dumped water and let it fall and made a rather big mess and hard to clean up with that sponge and whatnot on there. So I get rid of all that. I do have a couple Ecozotic LEDs sitting around on here. I got a couple of them that power over top of the Refugium over there, and I had one extra, so I stuck it over here again, so I could kind of grow out any algae and other unwanted nuisance stuff. And it does a great job of keeping that out of the main tank because it has a protected environment here to grow in, and it grows and then it dies and then it grows, and so it kind of self-regulates. Believe it or not, this is a pump in there, even though it's covered in a lot of stuff, and I got some rocks and the heater back there, but this is the main filter pump. Comes out and goes through the filters here, and then I got two nuclear canister filters, which are by far the best filters I've had on my tank yet. I've had a number of different filter systems, a couple Pentaires, the Fluval filters, the big FX5 or whatever it was, and none of those really did any good. They were a pain to clean and use, but these nuclear filters are awesome. Those the canister filters, filter pleats inside, they'll last me a year. I change them, or I rinse them out every 3 weeks, so that every 3 weeks I got about an hour's worth of work just cleaning up random stuff, clean up the main display lights and overflows and everything, and then I clean out the filters, and they work pretty good. So the reason I have two is just to get better flow through them. So the main flow comes in, splits off, and goes through both of them. That way I can get less flow in the filters, and then that comes back around and gets the right flow amount up to the UV lamp. If I have a lower flow inside the filters, the debris and stuff doesn't embed itself as much, and it's much easier to just rinse it out and clean them off and stick them back in, because this debris just kind of settles on the surface instead of getting sucked into it. So works out pretty good there. So from the UV lamp, it just comes back down and goes back down into the sump and just shoots straight down to the floor of the sump, so it swirls up any stuff and keeps it moving around. And that thing puts out, well, it's the same pump I use for my main pump, so what does it say on there? 1,100 gallons a minute. So I'm not getting that much through this one because it's about 3 or 4 psi on there, so I get a little bit less flow going through here, but still plenty. So I just got simple one main pump with the biggest hose that I could stick on there, so I could get the best flow out of it, and that just pumps up into a Y and goes into the main tank. So I do have a bunch of little $20 controllers for the different lights. Usually these lights are off during the day. I have them on right now just for the video. Usually these ones are off during the day. They turn on opposite of the main lights to help balance the pH levels and everything, and that works out really well. If you have a sump or anything, I would suggest trying to do that on your tank. It really helps keep everything balanced and level. So I just got my main power strip up here, a couple more timers for one's for the actinic lights and one's for the full lights, and then the power adapters for the Ecozotic LED lights. They're the Panorama Pro 2 version. So that's the main sump setup. Nice storage and whatnot. So I'll bring you around here quick and just show you the tank. it's been running for a few months now, number of months, so it's starting to get a little bit better after moving it. So everything's coming back and doing pretty healthy. So I got a whole bunch of mushrooms, couple anemones over here, few fish. I gotta get a few more fish now that everything's settled in pretty nice. Bunch of different various corals. They don't really show up too well on the phone, but and then underneath the top here are the Eco-Exotic LED modules. They've been running pretty good. I did have an issue with a couple of them burning out, and was able to get that fixed, and kind of found out that some of the epoxy wasn't glued in too well, so we got an updated version of that, and those ones seem to be working pretty good. So I just got 4 main power heads in the main tank, swirling water, and then including the main return piping. So that is my tank setup. My small tank. I have in the works for planning a bigger tank here. It'll be about the size of a small bedroom, about 11 foot in diameter. It'll be an octagon shaped tank. So hopefully in the next couple year or two, I'll be ready to start building a house and building that tank. So I'm looking forward to that one. But all right, thanks everybody. We'll see you later.